So I wanted to do another video similar to the solo flawless hunter loadout video that I just did recently, except this time on Warlock to one, showcase what you might do if you play a different class, and two, to test out some different experimental loadouts for boss DPS that might actually give you better results if you use this on Warlock or even if you use it on Hunter from the previous video. So going to be the same style, going to walk over the build before each encounter, talk through my weapons, talk through what the idea is, and then talk through literally every single thing that you're supposed to do, where to stand, what to do, all strategies. This is going to have a couple of extra stuff that the Hunter General Guide build loadout video for Solo Flawless didn't have, just because I've, done the dungeon a little bit more and I've learned some new things. So I took the liberty of getting to the first boss so that you guys don't have to watch me jump there. In terms of our subclass loadout, we are going to run this the entire time. This is never going to change. Well of Radiance, Phoenix Dive, Burst Glide, Incinerator Snap, and Solar Grenade. Sorry, the only thing that changes is I switched Icarus Dash sometimes for the traversal areas, but you'll definitely want Touch of Flame for the actual encounters. Also got Heat Rises, and then Embers of Empyrean, Singeing, Torches, and Ashes, along with Sunbracers. And we'll kind of talk about how to make sure you maintain your Sunbracer buffs, maintain the loops the entire time, the best way to do that. In terms of my mod setup, it's more of the same story, pretty much running these the entire way through. The only things that are going to be changing as we go throughout the dungeon are going to be our chest mods. The resistances are going to change slightly, but a lot of solar weapon stuff, time dilation to help with the surges. Pretty much lost to keep my abilities up, make orbs, heavy ammo finder, super important here. The solar scavenger is super important. It's pretty much it. For this first boss, the loadout that I want to try is I'm maintaining the Callus's mini tool to help me keep my restoration and radiant buffs up through the Emperor of Empyrean. But the things I want to try differently are the new Dragon's Breath exotic rocket launcher and the Scatter Signal fusion rifle. Now, Dragon's Breath, you'll notice I do not have Catalyst. Obviously, if you do have the Catalyst, your damage will be a little bit better, but I don't have the Catalyst yet, and I bet a lot of you don't have it either, so I kind of wanted to test out with the Catalyst just to see, hey, is this still viable even if you don't have the Catalyst, for those of you who don't want to go grind it out yet? As far as Scatter Signal, it's the new Seasonal Fusion Rifle. I got it super easily just by using my Deep Sight Harmonizers. I pulled them from last season on the Bungie website. And I just bought a bunch of these, focused a couple of them with the seasonal engrams because I've done a couple runs of coil, and I crafted it with fluted barrel, enhanced battery, overflow, controlled burst, and then I have a handling masterwork along with boss spec. Apparently this thing is like the best thing in the entire universe. I haven't used it yet, so I guess we'll see. So without further ado, let's go. So the main thing for playing Sunbracer's Warlock is I call it the 4 ability combo. It's going to be Eat Your Grenade to get Heat Rises into Melee, Grenade, Dive. What that basically does is eating the grenade gives you Heat Rises, and the reason you want Heat Rises is so that when you do your Phoenix Dive, it gives you Restoration ×2 as opposed to just giving you a cure. You'll also do the Snap so that you can throw another grenade with Sunbracers, because that grenade will then start killing enemies while you're in the middle of diving, and when that grenade kills enemies while you're in the middle of diving, it'll extend your restoration timer that you require through diving, thanks to the Ember of Empyrean. You can also then continue to get some kills with your SMG to continue cycling your restoration, since it is a solar weapon. Since I was focused on explaining that, I didn't actually get a DPS phase here, so we'll have to run it back one more time, get an actual DPS phase. And just to reiterate, I mentioned this in the Hunter Guide, but obviously it remains true in the Warlock Guide. Don't feel like you have to... I'm actually dead here, aren't I? Okay. I got so lucky. So the reason that randomly opened is because I killed something with incandescent, like Scorch, from my SMG. That is so lucky. That is super, super funny. Okay, so we're going to come over here, get ready for DPS. I'm just going to pop the well down. And apparently it's just Dragon's Breath and then spam the fusion. And then after it ignites a couple of times, I guess we can just shoot another and keep spam fusion. Yeah, that is super easy. Did about... The thing is, if I got both totems, I probably would have done a third of his HP right there. So that is actually very impressive damage for a loadout that is significantly easier to use than the loadout that I previously recommended for this in the Hunter video, which was Lament. So if you're not too familiar with the Lament combo and you don't really feel like learning it, this could be a pretty solid alternative option. So we're just going to get up in here. We have restoration ×2, so I'm not too worried about dying. Gonna keep killing these enemies so we get our Well of Radiance back. And let's just do the same thing. And we're gonna miss our Dragon's Breath, because, yep, we're just that good at the game. And so since we missed our Dragon's Breath, we won't get it automatically refunded because we're not igniting the boss. So I tried to throw my Solar Grenade there to try and get some squirt stacks on him, both from the grenade, and they actually get doubled thanks to Ember of Ashes. So that's kind of what the idea was there. Obviously, it didn't end up working out, but, you know, just how it's going to go sometimes. Now we need to focus on getting our Restoration loop back up. So we're going to wait until some enemies spawn, but we've cleared the entire arena, so I guess we'll just chill. I'm hoping I can get these guys right here. We'll eat this for Heat Rises. We aren't going to get Restoration quite yet, but that's okay. Looking for the other eyeball. There it is. Sometimes I have a tough time finding them. Luckily, if you do wipe, because you can't find an eyeball, it is just the first encounter, so it doesn't hurt that much to wipe if you can't find an eyeball, but, you know, definitely be nicer if you can find them. So we're just going to keep blasting these guys. I'm going to try and get my super, but it's not seeming like I'm going to be able to. But I think that'll be okay, because I do have Restoration. Just hop around. Yeah, this thing with Overflow is pretty nasty, because you can just get so many bullets in the mag. And remember, if I do get weak, I can always just use my dive real quick. That'll, even though I don't have Heat Rises, it won't give me Restoration, it will still give me Cure. So what I really want to do is get a DPS phase in where I have my Well of Radiance and I can get both totems. So we're going to aim for that. I'm going to butter this guy up real quick so we can hit him with our melee to kill him there, proc our Sun Bracers, get some grenades on the enemy spawn points, and then we can hit our dive so we get our Restoration. And then since the grenades are already pre-placed, the grenades will kill the enemies and pretty much instantly shoot our Restoration buff timer up. That's the benefit of pre-placing the grenades. That's why that combo is what it is. So we're gonna sit in here. I don't see any other totems, which is kind of weird. I'm supposed to too, but whatever, I guess. He must have done, okay, there's a second one. There's no universe where I have enough time to get that, but it's fine, I guess. Okay, whatever. Get the well down. And let's just absolutely nuke him. I can even do that, maybe. Get some grenades up from Sun Bracers. My rotations are a little bit bad. Yeah, see, I was at half HP going into that, and I got him like a little below a quarter. If I got both totems, that is easily going to do a third of his HP. So you can like 3-phase him. Might even be able to 2-phase him, honestly, if you have perfect phases. And you're walking in with armor charge stacks. I like this weapon loadout a lot for this. I think Lament might be better on Hunter, just because you can tether everything and one-shot it to make it so there's no ads, but there's not really a way to do that on Warlock. Obviously, on Warlock, you can just go ahead and kill everything. Or not kill everything, sorry. You can just sit in a well and ignore everything, because they're not going to kill you in a Well of Radiance, but... Oh, I didn't capture that totem. I was so confused. I was like, why am I not getting a DPS phase? That is brutal. Well, waste of a Well of Radiance, huh? This is not my finest work, I will admit. But in terms of like DPS, this loadout is doing exactly what I want it to. So let's keep killing these guys. We're not going to have well for this DPS phase, but that's okay as we discussed. As long as we can maintain our Restoration buff, that's what I'm really concerned about. Just keep nailing him. Oh, I think I missed my second Dragon's Breath. I was going to say, I'm not really doing too much damage on him. I don't see him igniting. What I have a feeling for is this loadout is going to be like minimally better than Lament for this boss, but I have a feeling that it's going to be significantly better than the Wither Horde rocket loadout that I recommended for the second boss. That's what I'm kind of excited to see. Oh, guess you didn't have heat rises when you did that, therefore it doesn't get restoration. Whoops. Alright, that's okay. So 1, 2... Ow. Now we have heat rises. Oh, now we get the double totem in a situation where it really doesn't even matter. Oh well. So we'll run over here, snap, drop the well. Get a grenade behind us just for good measure. 4, 5. So it feels like without the catalyst, I shoot a rocket and then I do 5 fusion rifle shots, and then I can pull, and then I have a rocket reloaded by the time I'm done with that. So good to know. So we're gonna go back to Icarus Dash just to make this part a little bit faster. Looks like we have 5 clockwise wheels. That kind of sucks. Oh, this is painful to watch, surely. There we go. Then get over here. Boom. Dang. Alrighty. By the way, if you're on Warlock, you don't have to go Eager Edge and Icarus Dash. I just do it because it, you know, speeds things up and it makes this video a little bit quicker. But, I mean, if you want to just use a typical loadout and kind of stroll your way on through, that's completely fine. Obviously, just means you're probably going to have to, like, kill a lot of the enemies, but that's not too much of a problem. And do me a favor while you're here, consider subscribing if, you know, you enjoy these types of videos and if you feel like you've learned a lot so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and shoot these guys so they don't freeze me while I'm hopping over. And do make sure to watch this part, because the last thing I want is for one of y'all to die to something here. Just follow my exact path. Walk exactly like I'm walking. Otherwise you might get might run into some spikes or something like that. Hug this wall. Perfect. And then hop over here. You should only ever cross 4 sets of spikes. That should be the last one. If you run into another set of spikes after that one, it means you're going the wrong way. Speaking of going the wrong way, there we go. I still haven't memorized this dungeon perfectly yet. But lucky for you, you're watching this in video format, so you can just kind of like watch where I go and then rewind the video if you forget where I go. Alright. Up through here. Up that. Up there. And then this is why I like having Icarus Dash. Is for this part up here. Just get to speed things up a little. Other thing you want to be careful of here, of course, is the falling rocks. They're typically going to like look like this. They don't have any like textures on them. They don't have any like other rocks. It's just like a blank platform. So make sure you watch out for that. You can also tell if you look at them from underneath, they have like no support under them. Just like that right there. It's pretty obvious that this is a falling rock. See what I mean? How it like this one has grass and other rocks on it. This one just has nothing. Usually a pretty telltale sign that it's gonna fall if you walk on it, so good to know. And then oh, okay, wait, I might have mistakes might have been made. I did not mean to eager sword into that scream, obviously. Maybe eager sword is a bad idea. For this section, this is another falling rock, so be careful. Don't completely mess it up like me. Good God. That was atrocious. That was super ugly. Hands are sweating. Alrighty. This is the boss that I'm really curious about to see how this loadout performs. I'm going to keep literally the exact same weapon loadout. But I think this boss is going to be a lot better with this loadout, and I think it'll give me an opportunity to really showcase the best way to keep up the Restoration Sunbracer's Warlock loop. Swap that back to Touch of Flame. And we'll get off to the races. So previously I said it's a 4-button combo. It's going to be grenade, melee, grenade, dive. But you can actually switch the order of some of those buttons. Like obviously you don't have to throw the second grenade necessarily. It just, if you have an enemy to throw it onto that the grenade will kill, it just guarantees that you're going to be able to get your restoration right away. Like for example right there, I wasn't able to maintain restoration because I didn't throw my grenade on an enemy that it actually killed, so it didn't up the restoration counter from Member of Empyrean, and it ran out. So if you're in a situation like this where you really need your melee so you can start that Sunbracer's loop again, a benefit of Heat Rises is if you get airborne kills, even if you don't have Heat Rises active, you get a ton of melee energy. So if I just like hop up and down while I'm killing these guys, I basically get my entire melee back, which is a huge lifesaver. So now I have my restoration up now. You can see it 5 seconds, 4 seconds, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm actually able to keep it up. And once you have your restoration ×2 buff up, you're basically invincible out here. The only caveat is after you do a wave and the Scorn Snipers spawn, if like a bunch of Scorn Snipers laser you at the same time, they can take you out. But there is pretty much nothing that the regular enemies can do to kill you. So we're going to butter this guy up. Yeah, try and let him put down the totem. Unfortunately, I killed him way too fast. So we're only going to get 1 orb here. As I said before in my previous guide, once you're a Biting Cold 6, that is your time to immediately start making your way back to the totem. You can, optionally, if you want, you can try and kill both of them in one run. Me personally, I don't really like to do that. So, you know, I'm just going to be patient. I have to do 3 phases. It is what it is. And I don't have my melee right now, so I need to make sure to get that back. So, like I said before, we're just going to hop while we kill Acolytes. And 2 Acolytes at the trick. And then we'll try and get our Heat Rises going. Not our Heat Rises, sorry, our Restoration going. Easy as that. And then there's some Scorn Snipers over there. I'll chuck a grenade to try and see if I can get them so that they're not pelting me with sniper shots while I'm clearing the eyes. Just make things a little safer. It's not necessary, but definitely going to help a little bit. So kill that, kill that. I always like to do the eyes from left to right because I prefer to kill the Scorn boss on the right side. I don't really like going for the one on the left side. So I like to finish on the eye that I'm going to hit right before I end up at this Scorn boss. And we'll just pepper him a little bit. And boom, there we go. Yeah, this fusion rifle does a ridiculous amount of damage. Controlled burst is amazing. Fighting Cold X6, so we're out of here. Another thing as well that I mentioned in the Hunter Guide, make sure not to jump when you're over here on the walls, because the ogre is always going to be shooting at you since it's a taken ogre. His attacks have pushback. So if you jump, you run the risk that he shoots you and then he like pushes you off the ledge that direction. So yeah, don't do that. We're a little weak and we don't have restoration. So I used my dive to get cure, but that wasn't enough. So I went ahead and panic placed the well. Not a problem because you have all the time in the world to get to a DPS phase, so it's much better to panic place a well than it is to die and have to reset your run. So we'll panic place that well, get our super back by clearing all these enemies, which means our DPS phase is going to take a second to get to. It's not a problem at all. Clear out all these snipers. Already like halfway back to our super. We're going to try and mix in airborne kills as well so we can make sure that our Heat Rises has its duration increased. We can do that by going airborne while we kill these eyes. I think you get 5 seconds increase for every kill you get, which is fantastic. And we have all of our buffs up now, which is great. And I don't really need to wait for this guy to put a totem down because I already have 3 charges. He went ahead and took the liberty of putting one down instantly. Would have been really cool if he did that initially, but, you know, I guess the game just doesn't want to see me win. So, I'll hang out here. Boom. Only had to get one there. Got both for good measure. It's fine. And so now, don't have restoration, don't have any of our buffs, so now I know that we're going to have to run out and go ahead and get a jump shot on some of these enemies so we can get our melee back. One more. Oh. There we go. And then we'll eat our grenade, we'll throw a grenade, we'll throw another grenade, just for good measure, and then we have to kill one of these acolytes to keep our restoration going. Perfect. Now, before I like dunking the balls, I really like taking out 5 of the 6 eyes. You want to make sure that you don't take out all 6, because then you'll spawn another wave of the large scorn enemies, and you'll force the boss to call in the storm. So I like just killing 5, because then that makes it a lot safer to run in and dunk the orbs without sending me to the next phase. So I really want to kill that sniper, but since I've already picked up the ball, the ammo counter already starts. So I don't really have much of a choice. Ran out of my restoration, but I still have heat rises, so I can just simply do the Phoenix dive to get it back, and then kill an acolyte to extend the duration with Ember of Imperium. And then the next thing I want to do is make sure that I do actually take out this Scorn Sniper, because I did see him over here. Here he comes. Make sure no Scorn Snipers are up during DPS phase. And then sometimes I'll like to drop the ball real quick, kill 2 acolytes just to extend my restoration timer on my way. Keeping restoration up the entire time while you're doing this part feels really, really good. That's a lot of heavy ammo bricks. Okay, go ahead and dunk that, and then I can even come back here, kill a couple of these guys, keep my restoration going. Plenty of options. Now, before I start DPS, I do want to try and clear out a couple of these acolytes so they're not bugging me. Obviously, I don't have all the time in the world because I have my charge. I also like to pre-place the well. That way I don't have to waste DPS time doing it. Barely got that off. Goodness gracious. Okay. So now let's see how Dragon's Breath feels. So I'm going to throw a grenade at my feet to deal with the Thrall. 2, 3, 4... 5, and now that I'm about to go to my next plate, I'm not going to shoot him with another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we get our Dragon's Breath. 1, 2, 3. Something I'm already noticing about this that I really, really love is that it is staggering him to Kingdom Come. Which means he is never going to be able to push us. I am out of fusion rifle ammo, unfortunately, but I have a ton of bricks over here. So we're going to pick a few of those up. And he's hiding behind that pillar. There's our 5. Yeah, this is kind of ridiculous just for the sheer fact that it's stunning him permanently. And also, another note, if you ever notice that you're getting a little weak during DPS phase, can just go ahead and do a little Phoenix dive. You probably won't have heat rises up during the DPS phase, but you will still get cure just from doing the dive. It's just like the base benefit that you get from doing the dive, so still worth doing. So we're gonna go ahead and throw a couple grenades at these guys, try and get our restoration going. Perfect. We're maxed out on it. Kill these servile minotaurs. And we're going to keep it up. Go ahead and start taking out the eyes. You do want to focus the servile minotaurs a little bit more than I am, by the way, because they do hurt a good amount. 2 fusion rifle shots will take them out. This scatter signal fusion rifle is crazy. This is the very first time I'm using it. Like, I haven't tested this before. This is purely like an experimental DPS loadouts video. This thing is nuts. I'm just now realizing that I never showcased my mods, by the way. I am using solo operative. I'll show some of the mods in a sec here. Apologies for not showing those before. It completely slipped my mind, to be honest. But if you want to take a screenshot here, important ones are like Solo Op, Revitalizing Blast, Flint Striker, Kindling Trigger, Heart of the Flame, stuff like that. So, yeah, you can go back, take a screenshot of that if you want. I didn't want to show it too long just because I didn't want to die to those guys. But we need our melee back, so we'll jump while we kill that guy. And then we need to get our good old combo back up and running. So melee, dive, boom, restoration times 2 for 12 seconds. Killing these guys. And I'm going to ignore the scorn snipers. If you do want to ignore the scorn snipers, you can. Just make sure that you're kind of like hanging out behind a piece of cover like this while you're killing the eyes. So they have a tougher time seeing you. I think it's like, it would be pretty rare if they all just like instantly turned at you and sniped you and killed you like that. But, you know, you always want to be careful. Stuff like that. So I'm going to wait until this guy puts his totem down. Thank you. 2 shots with the fusion rifle. We'll drop him. And I do have heat rises now, so I can get restoration. Need to make sure to get over here. I'm playing a little too dangerous with my biting cold stacks, but I actually already finished both of those. Why do you always dive right after the melee? So the time that you dive, there's not really a specific time that you dive. The time that you, like, in terms of, like, after you use a certain ability, the time that you dive is when you feel like you can kill a bunch of enemies to go ahead. I actually didn't even have heat rises active right there. The time that you dive is right when you feel like you can kill a bunch of enemies. So sometimes I'll dive if I just see a bunch of weak enemies in the vicinity that I know I can kill quickly. I know that I don't really have to throw a grenade down real quick because I know that I'll probably be fine. So like right here, there's a bunch of weak enemies here. So I know I can dive before throwing a grenade. It just kind of depends on the situation. So right there, that big chunk that got taken out of my health bar, that was me getting sniped. So, you know, you can get messed up by the snipers, but I think it's pretty rare, especially if you're kind of playing cover a little bit. Make sure you're careful when you're jumping up to the platform like that, by the way. You never want to jump too high, because like I said before, the boss's attacks do push you. If you have your Phoenix dive up and you're like you have very quick reaction, you could, you can like jump right here if the boss can't see you to maintain heat rises. But generally you gotta be very careful of that. You can Phoenix dive if you have like really fast reaction time to save yourself, but I think it's probably better to just not really jump in the first place. Kill that other eye. We have 1 eye left, so we can't kill anymore. I'm just weaving in kills to keep my restoration up. Kind of happy that that guy pushed me because he gave me someone to kill for restoration. Let's keep shooting these dudes. Get our restoration back up. 7 seconds. There's a big clump. There's our 12. And then we have a bunch of acolytes here that we'll be able to kill. I'm going to kill the first pack. And then I'll save the second pack right before I dunk this final ball to get my restoration maxed out again. So I'll run over here, drop that ball, kill all these guys so they're not bothering me in DPS, and to get my restoration back up. Get the well down. And boom. Dragon's Breath first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. I have some brawl on me too, so I can throw a couple grenades. Boom. And then we'll head over here. It doesn't really matter what plate I go to. 3, 4, 5. It doesn't really matter what plate I go to next. Previously in my other guide, I said that you should really focus on going to a plate that is zigzagged so that the boss doesn't get there immediately. But because with our current loadout, we can just permanently stagger him, it really doesn't matter which one you go to now, because he's never going to be able to even walk towards you anyway. Okay, now here, we're completely out of ammo, so we're going to run around the arena to get some more ammo. Obviously, be aware of your biting cold stacks, and be aware of the fact that the ogre boss can push you. So we're going to try and ignite this guy so we can get our Dragon's Breath reloaded. I don't think I'm going to be able to, though, so I think we're just going to do all fusion rifle for this DPS phase. Probably would have been smart for me to put my well down also right when I started that DPS phase. I'm going to plop it down right there to make sure I don't get killed by a slam. But as you can see right there, that DPS was fantastic. And if I did that DPS on my first initial phase, that would have easily been a 3-phase kill. But, you know, like I said, it's my first time using this loadout, so still getting used to it. And as you can see, my ammo is very, very, very good. If you wanted to optimize your DPS even more, something that you could do is run around and try and scavenge some ammo in between each DPS phase. Obviously, be aware of your biting cold stacks, but that is another option as well. I'm going to wait here for an enemy to like kind of get near me that I can hit with my melee. I don't really want to mess too much with these servile minotaurs. Like now that this guy's poking his head out right now, I can go ahead and nail him, get the grenade out, dive, boom, now we're restorationed up, and we're good to go. So first things first, I want to absolutely nuke these servile minotaurs, but I still want to get some solar kills to keep my restoration up. But yeah, as you can see, those servile minotaurs, they hurt a decent amount. Okay, so he's taken care of. Now we can go ahead and get to the eyes. Drop him, drop him. And we'll make our way up here. Yeah, wait until he... I'm not going to even grenade him a single time. I'm going to wait until he puts down his initial thing, because the grenades just deal so much damage. And they apply a lot of scorch stacks, so they stagger these guys a lot. So, boom, biting cold X6. I left a little bit before X6 because the totems were a little bit further back. But I definitely got them pretty much all the way, so easy enough. Not too concerned with the timing. Get back there, get my biting cold down. And then hop down here. Need to get one airborne kill to get our melee back. There's our melee. Eat our grenade for heat rises. Throw it on him so it kills him after I dive to keep our restoration going. Easy as that. I'm gonna kill one of those eyes just to keep my restoration going, and just to get rid of some of the stuff that can deal damage to me, since I do know that Scorn snipers are up now. Blast these, and let's clean up some of the stuff here in the middle, and then I can backtrack to the final eye that's right before spawning the big Scorn dudes. Scorn sniper, gonna focus him. Kind of waiting for, there we go. Yeah, this fusion rifle does work. So X4, X5, X6, I'm out of there. I just heard the noise though, so I got that first one done, which is great. Because they were not Venn diagrammed, as I like to say. So we'll wait until this one goes all the way. And we are good. Have our melee up as well, so we can get straight back into our restoration loop. We don't really have to worry about getting the jumping kills. So go ahead and throw that on him. Grenade these guys. Boom, there's our restoration. And we'll start clearing out the eyes immediately, so that we're not taking heat while we're dunking the charges. Once again, we're not killing all of them. There's another big chunk of health taken out of me by that Scorn sniper. The restoration times 2 is pretty hard to hit through, so like I said, probably gonna be fine, but if you're really concerned, maybe go ahead and kill the Scorn snipers in between each phase as opposed to just before a DPS phase like I'm doing. So I'm going to sit behind this pillar right here so the boss can't see me, so I can jump while I'm getting some of the kills to make sure my heat rises stays maintained. It looks like my heat rises was already gone, actually. So Never mind. Kill one of those guys to keep the restoration going. And then I'll kill these guys to have the same situation. Hit that so I can get a grenade to eat for heat rises. Probably a little dangerous to jump towards that ball like I did right there. And so I'm going to make a mental note that I have 3 heavy bricks over here on the top right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I start at my usual pillar that I start at. Oh, I'm just now noticing that my heat rise is almost gone. So let's get a dive in to get our restoration back before we lose it. That way we're safe, but then I want to get my heat rises back, so we'll eat this grenade, and our loot is maintained. So my idea now is kind of, okay, I have a ton of heavy bricks over there. So my plan is, let's get the well down here, do DPS here, and then I'll do DPS at the second one, and then I'm going to go ahead and pick up a bunch of those heavy bricks before I go to the next plates. And the very good, very intelligent, smart player that I am, completely just forgot to reload my rocket launcher in between phases. 2, 3, 4. I didn't really have to do a 5th right there, I don't think, because I did the snap instead. 1, 2, 3, and then boom right here. Let's pick up this ammo, like I said before. Get the rocket on him. 3, 4, 5. Trying to back out of this fire that I'm in. Always have that. That's my backup. And thanks to some of the fragments that we have, since this rocket is scorching the boss so much, we have the Ember of Singeing, which gives us class ability restoration when we scorch targets. So we're pretty much always going to have our Phoenix Dive available. As you can see, I already have it back up. So you're actually very, very safe and healthy in that boss DPS phase by using this rocket. Because it's going to make it so that you always have your class ability. You're always going to be able to, you know, hit a quick little Phoenix Dive so you can get a cure if your HP gets a little low. Jump in the air to get these guys. Let's get the heat rises going. I don't really want to run over there. I don't want to cross the Servile Minotaurs without restoration. So we're going to go ahead and use these guys instead to get our restoration going. And then boom, one Servile Minotaur dead. Feeling much safer now. Just gotta get through one more phase and then this dude is toast. Another thing that you guys probably noticed is the boss gets really, really pissed off when you get him weak, and they'll start just sprinting towards you and slamming the ground. So be very aware of that. Should definitely not have taken that pathing. This staircase right here is one of the worst places you can be because the boss will just shoot at you and blast you off the ledge. Definitely never, ever take that staircase pathing that I just took. Doing some little hopping while we kill stuff so we can get our heat rises timer back up. And we're just gonna put a couple shots into that guy. Kill the squishies so we keep our restoration going, and there we go. 3 fusion rifle shots will do the trick. We get our Venn diagram. Keep our restoration going. I'm not even gonna try and kill those guys until I get over here, because the last thing I want is to be late. Getting over there to drop off my biting cold. So we're gonna chill over here left so they can't see us. And we're all good. And we have our melee as well, which is great. So we can go ahead and get going right away. Get that restoration combo going. And we're going to hop while we kill a few of the eyes so we get our heat rises maintained. Get a throw grenade over there, just see if I can get one of the Scorn Snipers. When the boss is in this like super aggro rage mode, I would actually definitely recommend taking out all the Scorn Snipers between every set of balls as opposed to just right before DPS. Because as you can tell, the boss gets really, really pissed off. And his stomp plus the Scorn Sniper shots plus the eyeballs shooting at you can be a lot to handle. I'm gonna try and... I really don't want to run all the way over there to kill that eye that I missed. There we go. Just try to use a rocket on it. Make sure you reload the rocket. We learned our lesson from last time. Wait until he puts down. There we go. Okay, watch our biting cold stacks. 3. Get in here. And then we'll finish this one off. Beautiful. And now we know that we need to go ahead and get our restoration loop going again. We do have a scorn sniper walking up on us, though. I'm going to have the fusion rifle out so I can just one-tap him. And we actually have some dudes that already pushed up on us, so we can use them to get our combo going. And boom, restoration. Let's make sure we take out these scorn snipers. You're generally pretty safe over on this side of the area, because even if the boss pushes you, he just pushes you into the wall right here. So that's why I like hanging out here a lot. I'm going to eat another grenade, just get heat rises back. Making sure that I'm only jumping if I'm in a spot where the boss can't see me. There's all the scorn snipers dead. Let's clear out 5 of the eyes so we're not getting nailed by them. That's what she said. And yep, that's 5. We'll clean up some of the ads as well, because why not? Oh, boss is getting mega aggro on us. This part of the fight where the boss just bum rushes you permanently is super, super, super annoying. So definitely make sure to keep your distance. Be kind of careful about jumping as well. Last thing you want to happen is that you jump and then he stomps the ground and sends you flying somewhere. I'm going to drop this, kill 2 of these guys, keep my restoration stacks before I pick up the ball and go dunk it again. And then I'll clean up the other ones, keep the restoration going. Restoration. As long as your restoration is going, you're good to go. You ain't dying. Give me restoration. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. Might as well take you up for good measure as well. And I would say we're probably good to go. And dunk. Boom. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna see if you can get it in 4. Ooh. Might be able to get it in 4. I actually missed right there, though, I think. So we're gonna make sure I pull it out just to make sure I can reload it. Throw a grenade at the feet so that the thrall don't kill me. And just like that, pretty easy ogre kill. By far, favorite thing about that loadout for this boss is that he just is perma-staggered and he'll never push you during the DPS phase, which guarantees that you get all 15 seconds of every single plate, which cannot be said about the other loadout. I feel like that is a very, very, very big difference that is worth recognizing. So I would definitely say I recommend that loadout over the Wither Horde rockets, I think. And I think I'll express that in my upcoming guides. All right. So all we have left is our traversal to the final boss room. Again, there's some dangers on the way. I'll show you where they are and how to avoid them. And then I'll show you the loadout for the final boss room, which is a little different than what we've been running so far. In my opinion, Warlock is probably the easiest to do the final boss on. Because of the loadout that I've got for y'all. I'll show you when I get there, though. For now, though, let's talk about staying safe on your way through here. Because we don't have the luxury of just going invis like we could on Hunter and running past everything. So we're actually going to have to kill some stuff when we do it on the Warlock. Go ahead and start shooting dudes. Go airborne so we can get our melee. Melee snap. Grenade. 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 Dive for heat rises. Let's do another grenade. Nice and easy. Nope. Never mind. Hold it. This fusion rifle is crazy. It is such a good fusion rifle. Okay, this is a falling rock. Right, or no, never mind. Sorry, I lied. This is the falling rock. This Screeb, be very careful, because if he hops across and then he hops back and hits you, he has so much momentum that he will send you flying that way. And that's basically an instant wipe. So be very patient. Wait for him to make his way over. Just chill. Let him do his thing. Let him go. That is... I saw a Twitter clip of someone losing their solo flawless to that. Is not the way you want to go out. Okay. So we're going to go back. We're going to nuke all 3 of these wizards, which are Ignitions and Scorch. We'll do that plenty fine. And then what I'm going to want to do here is I'm actually going to swap my fusion rifle to a sniper here real quick. And I'm going to start sniping away at some of these enemies that are far off in the distance. Just to make sure that they're not messing with me. Once we take those out, we're going to kind of stay to the right. Hang out right here. Make sure there's no other enemies. Good. And then this rock is generally pretty safe to hang out on. So we're going to go on that rock and then Icarus dash around to the right. Once we're here, we're going to inch up a little bit more. And then my goal is to get up on that rock. However, this rock will fall. So we have to be a little quick about it. Okay? First things first, let's take out these dudes so that they're not bugging us. And we'll go up. And then boom, hugging the right side wall. Beautiful. Then we have some enemies here. One snap. Boom. Bye-bye. And then we have a raider there. And then I believe we have a wizard. And 2 more raiders. So we'll snipe those. 3 more raiders, sorry. Snipe all those so they're not picking away at us. And then wait for this wall to blast. Boom. Hugging right side wall. We're going to land right here. Remember that you have your Icarus dash and your sword, just in case you get in a pickle. Then we're hopping up here. And then I'm going to wait for the rocks to fly around before I go. And we're good, which tells me that we are safe to go ahead on this platform. Beautiful. So now we'll make our way over here. I'm actually going to switch back to the fusion rifle. Don't really need the sniper anymore. And then we're going to come out here, head to the right. Then we're going to go ahead and jump straight up. Make sure to watch your head. Don't bump it right there. And then here, probably what I like doing here is we're just going to get on the side so that those phalanxes have no way to boop us off the back of the map. Pop the well. And go ahead and just chuck grenades at everything. You're going to have some more enemies that spawn in. We're just going to play right here, shoot at the phalanx's feet so they don't blast you. As you can see, well is already halfway back. So we'll be able to have it again for... Whoa! Definitely almost just ruined my run. Okay, just kill that guy. Hop over here. Hop on this rock. Take a right. Perfect. Run through this tunnel. Boom. And then this guy, I really like to take him out before we actually start going across. Just have my SMG. Probably would have been a good idea to keep the sniper on in hindsight, but, you know, live and learn. Keep making our way. And then this part is particularly dangerous. We're going to get a little high ground here. Get high up, use the red sword, but this rock will fall. So be careful. Got that phalanx right there. Whoa! That was interesting. Okay. Typically when you shoot at their feet, they stagger. I guess not that guy. He almost ended my whole career right there. So that's fun. We'll have another one up here. I like to pull out the sword and swing right as he blasts. So I kind of like cancel out his blast that he does. If that makes sense. Gonna try and stay airborne while we kill these dudes. This is a pretty dangerous section, by the way, so don't underestimate this section. We're gonna make sure we get our restoration going again. Take out some of the scarier enemies with our fusion. Get our grenade down. We're going to keep an eye on our radar as well. We have permanent restoration, so we're probably okay, but, you know, never played too safe. And then we'll just kill this guy with a sword, kill this guy with our fusion, 3 shots, and we are good. Beautiful. And then we'll just make our way up here. And we're going to make sure that we kill all these guys on our way up. Last thing we want to do is get frozen and then meleeed by 900 things at once, so we'll just take our time. You're on a solar warlock. You have plenty of ignitions and explosions. You'll be fine. Oh, guess who wasn't paying attention? Me. We're going to stay in the air. Yeah, Bungie is definitely having a good laugh with that phalanx placement. Undeniably. There's still a dude alive here? I want to make sure that nothing's going to chase me up here while I try and... Yeah. Get out of here. I want to make sure nothing's going to chase me up and start whacking at me while I explain my loadout, because we are going to make a pretty big switch here. Where... Am I lost? Yeah, okay. Okay, so, final encounter. We're going to say goodbye to the Hothead, even though it has served us well, because we really want to give our exotic slot to Sunshot. Not only is it a solar weapon, so it can make sure to maintain our Sunbracers loops like we have been before, but the chain reaction solar explosions that it does basically makes it so that the Scions here do not exist. You hit one Scion, and every single thing around it instantly dies. It's beautiful. So, we're going to swap to our bait and switch reconstruction rocket launcher. If you don't have one of these, you can go maybe like auto loading. I think you'd be fine. And we're going to maintain the scatter signal. I'm going to keep boss spec on it just because I still want to be able to easily fry the Scorn bosses. And I don't believe they are coded as taken, because obviously they are Scorn. If you want to prioritize boss damage entirely, you could switch that to taken spec if you want to. It is up to you. In terms of all of my class stuff, whatnot, going back to Touch of Flame and keeping everything else exactly the same. Only thing I'm switching, which I can't believe I forgot to mention now, I apologize. Back for the previous boss, I would have recommended going 2 arc resistances and 1 void resist, because you obviously don't need any of the solar resistances anymore like you did for the first boss. I had Lucent Blaze because I was doing a run earlier on Lament. You don't even need that. You would just want triple solar resist. This is what you would want for the second boss. For the third boss, all we're going to do is take our second arc and turn it into a second void. The void damage here is a lot more lethal than the arc damage, specifically because of the boss. So we're going to double up on the void resists. Other than that, basically going to be a similar story of nuking the boss, swapping between rocket and fusion rifle, overflowing the fusion rifle so we get a ton of shots off, and all that. So let me show you how it goes. I also got a couple extra tips here, so let's walk through it. Step 1, eat grenade for heat rises, snap those guys, get extra grenades, and get our restoration loop going. Go ahead and kill all these dudes. Also make sure maybe hop in the air on occasion while you get a kill so you can get your melee ability back up. Do not underestimate these wizards. They hurt very, very much. So make sure you treat them with respect. Take them out. Fun thing about Sunshot is, once you kill one eye, the other 3 on that same side just automatically die. And as you can see here, these Scions are literally, the packs of Scions are getting completely one-shot. There's no more Scions left. They're all gone. So, the second that this dude puts his thing down, pulling out scatter signal and absolutely rinsing him. And I'm keeping an eye out because I want to make sure that we are staying healthy. We have our restoration up, but now it is gone. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to back it up. You can transfer the buff with melee abilities. Is a very important thing to know. So yeah. So to proc bait and switch, we're going to start with a fusion rifle shot. So fusion rifle, boom, double rocket. I'm hopping when I shoot the rockets because there is a million Scions behind me. After we shoot both rockets, probably 4 or 5 fusion rifle shots, then we can get another rocket, and boom, that's going to phase the boss. Now I can hop while I kill the Scions to get my melee ability back. Scavenge all this stuff. And we're going to continue. Compared to the Malfeasance Lucky Pants Hunter loadout that I had here, this one doesn't do as much damage. However, as I'm sure you can tell, it is significantly safer because you have restoration times to it the entire time. And it is a piece of cake to keep the arena clear from enemies, just because it takes one sunshot shot to kill an entire pack of Scions. Boom, boom. Okay, kind of messed up the second shot, but you get the idea. Everything is dead. All you have to do is kill 2 eyes. Boom, all those Scions are dead. Like, it's so easy. There's more Scions. Boom. Throw a grenade right there. And very easy to keep up your restoration timer. Just kind of free. So we're going to let this dude push us. If you don't want to waste your melee ability on him, alternatively, you could do like a melee and then dip out right when he hits you. That is another option. Get the well down. As I stated before, fusion, boom, that's get the bait and switch. Double rocket. I got staggered when I shot that second rocket. That kind of sucks. Another rocket. And I didn't get him quite all the way, but that's not really that big of a deal. Just stay in the well. Jump shots to get my melee back. Get some more heavy ammunition. Definitely should have put the well a little bit closer so that my fusion rifle was in a better effective range, but that's okay. Grenade, dive, and we're good. Like I said, remember to respect the wizards. Definitely need to be a priority. As you can see, everything else doesn't really do any damage to me, but those wizards will absolutely cook you. So make sure you take them out right away. Boom, just like that. I'm gonna get my heat rises back. Maybe a little snap. Get our Venn diagram going. There's our melee enemy. And I'm looking at my restoration. I'm noticing that I'm out, so we're going to hit a quick dive. Keep it back up. And then we're just going to keep our distance. Great. I'm going to see if I can get the well back also. Put a few shots into him. Boom, boom. Double rocket. So 4 fusion shots and then you can rocket again. Don't necessarily need to do all 5. So go ahead and get our ammo back. This this is textured like a platform that's gonna fall off. It's kind of fun. Run around, scavenge ammo, make sure you're topped off on your fusion rifle. As you can see, it holds 18 shots, but all 18 go in the mag because of overflow. And obviously take your time with this part. Last thing you want to do is ruin a solo flawless run with a mistimed jump. Get our restoration combo going again, so we're completely safe. But making sure we're respecting the wizards, because they still do hurt a great deal. Strafe side to side so that they're harder to hit. Or so that we are harder to hit, sorry. Take out all those guys. One more. Take out one side of the eyes. One shot each. Takes out every single Scion. And of course with heat rises you can kind of float as well. Wait until he puts down his contraption. Nice. And we're going to try and keep our restoration up. So 3, 2, 1, and then I know I can just dive again. Looks like I did not end up getting both, which is kind of unfortunate, but that's okay. It just means we won't use our well. Shot, 1, 2. Let's try 3 fusion rifle shots. 2, 3. Okay, so 3 fusion rifle shots you can get our rocket off. Good to know. And now we don't have restoration, and we don't have a way to get it. So we are going to get out of there. And we know we have new wizards up. Let's get our restoration back. And I don't want to push in too far. Even though I have restoration up, I do not want to push in too far against the wizards. Those wizards are absolutely brutal. Be very careful. Luckily, they die pretty quickly. And we're going to bring these guys in. Okay, I'm going to try and let him get his totem down. Perfect. Hopefully I can get both of these at the same time. Go ahead and get that guy. I wasn't able to get both, but when he dies, I can hop back down and get this one. But I definitely want to make sure I don't get tagged by him. Perfect. I should have picked up a heavy brick. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Strafe side to side. I'm keeping my well because I want to be able to use it for this upcoming DPS phase. Because this one lasts significantly longer. And here's the big difference between this class and Hunter, is this DPS phase right here. So we're going to get our health back. Get that down. So, fun fact, I learned that the phase ends when the boss gets all of his eyes up. So because you have Sunshot and you have like your, you know, kind of explosive damage, you can take out some of the eyes and it'll blow up all the other ones on that same side to give you a significantly longer DPS phase. Which means as a Warlock with the Sunshot, you can have way more time up there. So as you can see here, I just refunded all of my rockets. So I can come back over here. Boom, boom. 1, 2. You gotta hit that so we can... And then like I said before, you have your little... You have your dive just in case things get a little hairy. So I'm kind of content with that damage. We're going to hop off. Make sure I'm back to safety. You can hang out down here as long as you want, by the way. If you wanted to, in theory, you could just sit down here in between each plate and let your Well of Radiance recharge in between every single phase. It would take significantly longer, obviously, but, you know, if you want to do as few phases as possible and completely minimize any danger, you can just wait until you have a well for every single phase. I'm not going to do that for the purposes of just making sure this video isn't unnecessarily long, but worth noting. Get those guys. But yeah, right there. As you can see, about half HP. It's a very easy, like, 2 full phases of the entire arena. Let's do one more round, and then I can show you guys exactly how you're supposed to do Final Stand. So let's get our heat rises and restoration going again. Another thing worth noting too is since you're getting a lot of kills with an exotic primary weapon, you have significantly higher heavy ammo drop rates, which means you're pretty much always going to have a ton of rockets to be able to consistently keep pumping out damage. And even if you do run out of rockets, the fusion rifle does really good damage, so you're pretty much good no matter how you slice it. So take out these dudes, take out these dudes, drop that, make sure all the scions are cleared, maybe get rid of that thing. I'm going to wait until this guy puts his thing down, because I don't want to stagger him quite yet. He is taking his sweet time, though. And then I'm going to try and maintain my restoration, so I can just kind of, like, hang out in here uninterrupted. I'm going to wait until my timer gets a little low. Boom. Get away from him. With heat rises, too, you can just stay in the air. And obviously, if you're in the air, he has no way to get you. Hit that melee so the scions don't get me. Remember, I'm jumping because I don't want the scions to run in front of me. I shot 2 fusion rifle shots there, and I still got a rocket. Might have completely misjudged the timing of the auto-loading. Might be significantly faster than I originally imagined. Okay, now we need to get our melee back. We have heat rises, which is cool, but I need to get behind this rock because these wizards are not to be messed with. And I actually screwed up, so... Oh, I don't even need my melee because I already have heat rises. So as long as I can just kill stuff after I dive, which with Sunshot is pretty easy. Basically get a 4 free kills with every bullet you shoot because kaboom. Yep. You get your super so quickly as well. Keep all the scions dead. I'm gonna leave those scions up actually, so I have some fuel to continue getting restoration. Which means I'm allowed to basically face tank this melee guy. So we're gonna transfer the buff, and boom, still maxed on restoration. Hop over him. And I'm gonna get in a bit of a better position here. Seems like the boss usually likes to strafe over to the left. Even get a grenade on him. Maybe some grenades in between. Yeah, that's some nasty damage. Get our little jump shots in, get our heavy brick. Yeah, as you can see, you're just fully stacked on ammo the entire time. Here's another brick. Boom, back up to max. Beautiful. Probably another 5-6 minutes maybe. We should be out of here. Unless I get absolutely lasered by this wizard that I'm not respecting at all. Sunbracer's ready. Get our restoration going. Whoops. I know I keep reiterating it, probably sound like a broken record, but the reason I like keep talking about how, you know, you really got to respect the wizards is because I feel like most people, like whenever they have restoration times 2, they just kind of assume that they're immune to the entire world. And I mean, like, for the most part, you are. I mean, you basically are. But those wizards, they just do so much damage in such a little amount of time that they're the one thing that can drop you. That's why I'm trying to emphasize so much that, like, you know, be careful of them, because, like, this is the final boss. Last thing I want to see is for someone to get all the way here and end up losing their run. Because they just got absolutely pieced out by a wizard. Okay, so we're going to refresh our restoration. Get rid of our buff. I got both of them, right? Okay, cool. Well, it's a little early, but not that big of a deal. It lasts for a while. Rocket 1, rocket 2. Oh, a little early. 3 is the magic number. Let's get our restoration back up. My bad. Okay, wizard's coming in. Can spawn kill them, thankfully, since I'm like already here when they come up. And then I'd love to get my heat rises back up just so I have it. And then I'm gonna wait until I have my well. So I'll kill one more pack of scions, hop when I kill him to make sure the heat rises keeps going. And that should probably be enough super energy to end up having it. Oh, he's there. Oh! Perfect. I want to get my heat rises, or sorry, not heat rises, restoration back. Whoa! I should have just used my Well of Radiance right there. I'd rather people learn from my mistakes. I've already solo flawless this dungeon like 4 times. I just care about showing other people how to get flawless. Through the magic of editing, we're gonna fast forward a little bit to what is definitely the same run and show what to do for final stand. You do not need Well of Radiance going into the final stand. It'd be helpful if you did. But definitely don't have to have it. You're basically just going to stand on this right side pillar and head glitch it and just kind of chill. Take out the eyes as they spawn with your sunshot. But like if you back up off this pillar just a little bit, the boss can't hit you with splash damage. And so even if you don't have well, even if you don't have very much ammo, you can just kind of chill here the entire time and keep blasting away. Just make sure you don't accidentally rocket yourself when the eyes pop up. Hit him with the sunshot, because the sunshot goes ahead and explodes everything. You're good to go. Now, if you want to speed things up a little bit, you could even walk up, hit one of those with your sun bracers, and, you know, go ahead and start chucking solar grenades on him. And, of course, if you want to get your heat rises as well, so you can get radiant and restoration ×2, then it makes things a heck of a lot safer, because then you can just shoot the eyes to maintain your restoration ×2. And then it's basically impossible for them to kill you. So if I just like sit here, I can kind of sit out in the open. If you have restoration ×2 at this phase, you're effectively invulnerable as long as you know, shoot the eyes every here and there to replenish your restoration. Okay, maybe not invulnerable if enough of them spawn, but you get the idea. You're pretty tanky, you're pretty safe. You know, back and forth, fusion rifle shots, hand cannon shots. Go ahead and tag the eyes, all that jazz. And, you know, eventually, to boop, and 360. And congratulations, you win. Make sure to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. I will be making general guides that are a little bit more streamlined for all 3 of the individual specific classes on this dungeon for solo flawless. Right now, I'm just kind of uploading live comm runs because I feel like you basically get to see how the sausage is made, and it's kind of fun. And I can get these out a little bit more quickly while I'm making the streamlined ones, because this is kind of how I'm doing all of my testing. So, yep. Thanks for watching. As always, have a great day.